All right, hi. Today I'm talking about Morton's toe. Morton's toe can cause all these things, including fallen arches, pronating ankles, knee pain, bunions, hammer toes. All these things can be caused by Morton's toe. So you fix your Morton's toe, you can all of a sudden start feeling like healing all the way from the ground up until up to your hip. Because if you have Morton's toe, a lot of people are getting hip replacements because of Morton's toe. It's something that a lot of people don't know about, something that most people have. It's something on your foot actually, and I'll show you with my foot. It's where the first bone on the first metatarsal is shorter than the second one, and what that causes is it causes a little foot instability. And it's not a problem for you if you're barefoot most of the time, or you're in countries where people are barefoot and have strong feet, but it is a problem for Americans and for people that wear shoes all day and have weak feet, because what will happen is over time, you're 30, you're 40, you're 50 years old, it'll get progressively worse. The way you find out that you have Morton's toe and it's affecting you, you have bunions, you have a toe that angles inward and it's not very strong, a big toe that's disabled. You have fallen arches. Fallen arches are always caused by Morton's toe. If you're wearing custom orthotics, you can throw those away and get rid of them and just get a toe pad. And so I found out about Morton's toe through this book right here. This is the book, the only book I know out there on Morton's toe, and it shows the condition. It shows what it looks like from a skeleton point of view. It really destabilizes your foot, causes you to overpronate, because the first metatarsal bone is shorter than the second or third, and it should be the longest one, ideally, because that would give you a strong foot. Most people don't have that. I've only met 2 people in my life that don't have Morton's toe. All right, for the material that you can use to make your pad, this is called mull foam padding, and you can get this anywhere at any store, like a pharmacy store. And you could also get something that I found out is really good. It's a little bit more firm. It's called Surface Guard medium duty felt pads, blankets, I guess. You can get these at Home Depot. Get the medium, don't get the firm. The medium are the one that's just the right thickness. It's about $3 for 2 sheets. That'll give you enough for 6 pairs of shoes. I've actually made Morton toe pads out of leather too, for my leather sandals that I got from $10 of scrap leather at Tandy Leather, and I made it myself, and the Morton toe pad goes right there. You can see where it goes. It goes just underneath the first metatarsal bone, which is your first big toe bone. It's the biggest bone in your body. It's where your weight should be placed on your big toe, and when you have Morton's toe, it's put on your second and third toe instead. Made my own sandals and made my own Morton's toe pad here. And what it does is it shifts the weight onto your big toe bone, which is like bigger than any of your other toe bones. And when you do that, when you put a Morton's toe pad, what it does is actually causes the weight in your foot to shift to the big toe bone. So instead of having your second and third toes carrying you while you're walking, you have your big toe activated. And what happens is it starts to straighten. If you look at my toes, this one's not as straight as that one. This one has come out a lot more. So Morton's toe pad has really strengthened my feet to the point where my big toes are doing all the work. I used to have hammer toes right here, second and third toe, hammer toes, because they were stressed from having to carry the load of my foot. Now with the Morton's toe pad, they've relaxed, they've flattened down, and my big toes are starting to straighten up. And I used to have fallen arches, I used to have bunions, I had pronating ankles, they looked down like this, and I wore $100 orthotics. And once I put the Morton toe pad, within a week, my ankles lifted up, my arches lifted up, and now I'm solid as a rock. And I run on concrete, on asphalt, twice a week, for 30 minutes, no pain. And this is what Morton's toe has done for me. If you want, you can put them on your pads. I've been using Spenco insoles for like over 20 years. They're the best pads. They're made of neoprene rubber, which is the same thing that they use in wetsuits. It lasts forever. And you can put a pad and just like this. So you can super glue it like that and put it in your shoe. That way you can swap it into different shoes. You could also use the mold foam to do the same thing like that. They both have adhesive on the back, so you can just stick it on. It'll work. This is not as thick and firm. If you want, you could start off with this and then work your way up to a thicker, kind of a stronger pad. Let's see, this is the right one. A stronger one that'll give you more support. The advantage of moleskin foam, which is what the book recommends, is that it's not as firm. So if you're transitioning, this is not going to feel as uncomfortable. Another advantage of it is that when it flattens out, which might be within a week, and you need some more support, you just take another one, put it right on top, glue it right on top, and you can keep doing that indefinitely, and you won't have to keep buying some. So these work really good for transitioning. If you feel that you're ready for the real support, this one's a lot firmer. These are felt pads that I showed you, and these ones are a lot thicker, stronger. They'll give you more support. They'll last longer. They won't flatten out as quickly. And this is what I like. This is my preference. And you can get them, like I said, at Home Depot. They're about 3 millimeters thick, which is about 3 millimeters is what I've found the ideal size for Morton. Yeah, the advantage of this pad is it will accelerate the healing process a lot quicker because it's going to be firmer. It's going to shift more weight onto your big toe, and it's going to get your foot stronger faster. It's going to get your arch stronger, your ankle stronger, your toe stronger a lot faster. It might be a little bit more uncomfortable at first, but you'll get used to it. The way you make these, there's no big science behind it. The pad basically has to elevate the first bone. So it has to be thick enough to go underneath your first bone. You don't want to go underneath your first and second, because then you'll just perpetuate your Morton's toe. You want it only under your big toe. And I have two different sizes, one for men and one for... These are templates that I've made just by actually getting a sole and looking and just experimenting. Just make sure that it doesn't go underneath more than your big toe. If it goes underneath your big toe and your other toe, you're just going to perpetuate your Morton's toe because the weight's going to shift. It's going to shift back onto your middle toe. You want the weight to shift only on your big toe, and that'll make your foot stronger. Okay, the latest thing that I found I'm really excited about is this stuff called silicone rubber. You can get it on Amazon. I got this sheet for, it's kind of expensive, for about $6, but you can make the Morton toe pad out of this and it'll last longer. It's just silicone rubber. This is really not thick enough, but what I do is I cut it out in the same shape as this. I trace it, use this as a template, cut it out, and then I take two sheets and I super glue them on top of each other, and that gives me the 3 millimeter thickness, which is the magic thickness for the Morton toe pad. And this stuff is great because it'll last forever, and you can just super glue it right into your shoes, or you can just super glue it on directly on top of your sole insert. Top 3 things to remember about Morton's toe. 1, how to look for it. It's curl your foot, look for the bones, see where the first bone lies. If the first bone lies behind the second or third bone, you've got Morton's toe, and 90% of the population have it. Number 2, Morton's toe is something that can cause lots of problems. If you have fallen arches, bunions, hammer toes, pronating ankles, any kind of foot pain, it's probably Morton's toe. And if you have it, eventually over time, when you're 20, 30, 40, you're going to start to have knee problems because the fallen arches are going to cause your knees to have more pressure. It's going to shift your hip. You might end up having a hip replacement. And so correcting Morton's toe can change your whole life. It did my life. I had bunions, hammer toes, I had fallen arches, pronating ankles, ripped cartilages, tight hips, all that stuff. Morton's toe fixed it all.